After ages of preparing, I was finally ready to fight in a PvP battle. So I set off to hunt someone down at spawn. However, when I arrived at spawn, it was completely deserted. There were no targets for me to attack, and nothing for me to do. Whenever I finally asked where everyone was, I fortunately managed to get coordinates from a player named Ray Manzarek. I guessed these were probably coordinates to Aiden's Island, a structure built by Aiden and a couple others, which it was being debated at the time that should be the location for the Season 2 finale. Anyways, I flew to the coordinates that were given, and sure enough, it was Aiden's Island. I looked around, and I could pretty clearly see why they chose this place for the finale. It was pretty beautiful, with plenty of floating islands, and it was very well designed. But the thing was, I hadn't come here to look at the sights. I had come here for battle. And so, after looking around a bit, splashing my potions down, I finally managed to find him. We kind of froze for about a second before he realized I had all the effects for PvP on. I proceeded to jump him and knock him off the main island into the water. I jumped down after him, which, wasn't the best idea, because I hate water PvP, and after a couple of seconds of me exchanging hits in the water, I realized very quickly I was not going to be able to sustain combat in the freaking water. So I got the frick out of there. Our duel continued on the peninsula, or I don't even think you could really call it a peninsula, it's too thick. But we continued our battle on the lakeshore, and it was mostly just us exchanging hits. Regrettably, both of us had a knockback sword. I actually didn't want knockback on my weapon, but I just so happened to have it. And for the moment, it kept our fights sort of even. But I was getting a little frustrated because I hated how I was doing so poorly. My aim was off, everything was off, I did not like it. Then the battle went into more of overdrive. Ray started getting way more hits on me, started even using cobwebs, and I fell for cobwebs multiple times because I still am bad at cobweb PvP. I'm just not as completely woefully bad, but I still am woefully bad. But anyways, I was getting cobwebs. He even managed to nail one cobweb on me, and after that he was cooking me. I almost died, but I managed to chug a notch apple. I escaped, and while I still was kind of toying with him still, trying to get him to fight harder, and just kind of seeing how strong of a player he was. But I did not really need to do that. It would have been much better for me if I'd actually gone all out, because the problem here is that I was fighting one of the highest ranked PvPers on the entire server at the time. And while originally the fight was, something about me, I really have this weird habit where I will, overblow my own, victories or defeats or something in my own head. Like, I was overly impressed with the Cosmo duel, and I got overly impressed with this one. Looking back on this was not a good fight at all. I was getting destroyed. Not as destroyed as I could have been, but I was still getting beat pretty badly. And I think I can mostly attribute that to seemingly my lack of aiming skills and my lack of cobweb getting. Just my lack of being able to do cobwebs and my lack of being able to get out of them effectively. The duel continued. I managed to get out of the terrible situation I had gotten myself into, and I was just fighting him. But the duel was changing pretty rapidly, and he was getting in like 2 to 3 times more hits than I was getting in on him. He was knocking me everywhere, and while I was definitely surviving, like, I was still fine and all. But, he was clearly, very clearly winning. And I knew that, but I was a little bit too cocky. I thought that no matter what, things were going to go in my favor. I thought even though he was better, which I was very quickly realizing he was better than me, I thought, I can probably outlast him. And then if I couldn't outlast him, I was like, I can probably outrun him or escape him. Because I was ridiculously, I had ridiculous levels of faith in my escaping skills. Too much faith in them. But I was very cocky, so I didn't really see the danger. Anyways, though, I was starting to lose a little bit of morale as the duel went on. However, luck seemed to be on my side. As I got knocked toward I actually started running towards the castle while also getting pushed there. I ran in and prepared my slowness pot. I had unfortunately missed the weakness pot, or rather I hadn't missed, but I'd hit both of us, which meant that we both had weakness on us. Which meant that it didn't really buff me at all. But thankfully, this shot went perfectly. I nailed the slowness pot on him without getting it on myself, giving me the speed advantage. At the same time, he got swarmed by mobs, managing to hold him off, allowing me to get in a couple shots despite my woefully bad aim. I started chasing him. He had been not eating very much. He had kind of been holding back, seeing if I could pop his totem, which I did. He purled, and the pearl popped his totem. After that, he decided it was time to go a little bit harder. So I lagged out, and during that lag out, he splashed down all the potions he needed and turned around and started hitting me. I got like 4 hits on me instantly because of lag, and at that moment, the duel completely changed. I thought I was winning, and immediately, the atmosphere changed. He was trying now, and I was getting cooked. From there on, I was getting hit so many times per clash. I was coming in at him. Actually, it was more of him coming at me, honestly. He was chasing me, I was running. Occasionally, I would come back to chase him. But always, no matter what, he was getting more hits than me. He even used elevation, he even went into a little crevice in a hill and used my elevation against me, allowing him to get more free hits. He knocked me into cobwebs, got more hits on me. And while none of these killed me, they brought me lower and lower, mostly on durability and significantly on health. But I wasn't low enough that I was worried. But the real problem was my durability. Throughout this whole fight, my durability was getting slowly lower and lower, and I did not know it. I had not checked my inventory. I had not really done anything of the sort. And this was my critical flaw. More than anything else in this duel, more than being cocky, more than any of that stuff, I overestimated durability. Or rather, I don't even know if I could say overestimate. I made a terrible, fatal flaw in my calculations. Because I did not really realize how much different this duel would be. I was basing durability off of the Sam versus Cosmo duel, which I had early in my training arc. The critical difference between this duel and Cosmo duel was that this duel, I was getting beat up like 5 to 7 times worse. The other duel, I was winning, like, mostly the whole fight. He only won simply because he came prepared, and I had just been playing around and practicing. I didn't have any pots, no XP bottles, none of that. And he had pots and XP bottles, plus a knockback 1 netherite sword, which is why he won the fight eventually. He had to literally break my armor down, and it took him 10 minutes. This duel, though, well, this duel was much more unrestrained. I had learned more, and while I wasn't the one winning the fight, I was doing slightly better. I was doing significantly better, actually, than my performance in the Cosmo duel. But Ray was nothing like Cosmo in that duel. Cosmo was on controller, so he was terribly limited. Now, however, Ray was not so terribly limited. He wasn't on, I mean, even if he is on controller, he is, like, super good. Good enough that I was getting my butt kicked the whole fight, pretty much. Except for that one moment when my luck went up, and whenever he just stopped trying and just let me pop his totem. That was the only time in the whole fight that I was really winning, other than the start when I jumped him. And, like, the part when he was in the water. But after that, like, the whole duel was either, like, him evening out with me, which was for a very, very, very short time, or him kicking my rear. Anyways, my point is, my durability was plumbing. Oh, man. My durability was plummeting way faster than I expected. And I had no idea. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm a clueless person, okay? So I didn't think about it. And as the duel went on, I started to kind of realize, oh, crap, I might want to run. I lost my confidence, and so I threw a pearl. And this is my other mistake, which is almost not nearly as critical, honestly. If I'm being honest, but I did not know that he was an S tier, that Ray was an S tier. So I was confident I could outrun him. I was confident I could outrun or outsmart anyone who wasn't an S tier, which probably isn't true. I'll be honest, the tier list isn't the best definition of skill. Some people are just, like, better at certain types of PvP, and some people are better at chasing people. Like, they don't necessarily have to be better at PvP than me for them to actually kill me by catching me. I mean, it's not very hard to be better than PvP at me. I'm not the best. I'm not sure if I'm really in F tier at this point. I mean, I'm thinking I'm being judged pretty much by some of the best players. If I could do something with a tier list system, I would recommend one player in every single category. I think there should be like one player, like one tier tester in every single rank, like from F tier to S tier. And for, like, if you want to tier test, you have to tier test against all of them. Because realistically, if you're an S tier and someone's worse than you, you're gonna be more prone, probably, to think that they're F tier. And to be fair, I can't bash Eclipse over his ranking of me. His ranking of me, whenever we fought, was absolutely right. I sucked. I still suck, but I don't suck nearly as much as I used to suck. But I'm just saying, I don't think the tier list isn't the best definition of power. It's, I guess, a basic sort of thing to kind of guess off of, like, who's better in terms of PvP, but, you know, people have different strengths, people have different skills and all that stuff. You can't really, like, base everything off of a freaking tier list. But anyways, I forget what even led me to this conversation, but whatever. It didn't matter, because Ray was good enough at chasing me to keep up with me for a little while. And while maybe if I had kept running, I might have been able to escape him. I doubt it, though, honestly. The way he was keeping up with me, he seemed to be having a pretty easy time doing it. But anyways, I kept trying to fight him off, and he kept like, on me. I even opened up my inventory at one point, and I didn't even see the durability. But the durability on my armor was, like, critically low. Like, terribly, terribly, terribly low. Like, I should have seen it. but I didn't. And so at that moment, at like the moment when I was trying to get back on shore, my helmet popped. And like in that instance, I realized, crap, I've been miscalculating my armor durability this whole time. I thought, like, I would be completely fine with armor durability for at least, like, 5 minutes before having to even splash down half a stack of bottles on me. But I was wrong, okay? I was very wrong. My helmet popped, and I immediately started, going into panic mode. I figured I'd probably be fine, considering I'd survived, like, a whole minute pretty easily, like... In the Cosmo duel, it took my helmet popping to really get us to be even in the fight. I'm not saying Cosmo's bad, he was just on a freaking controller. I'm not trying to bash him or anything. But it took my helmet popping to make that an even fight. I figured that I could survive. Like, I knew, I was already, like, losing and stuff. But I figured, oh, I'll probably be able to at least survive with a popped helmet. I mean, I might have been able to. But, I wasn't. I didn't. I thought I had lagged out originally. That's what I said in the original video. But now that I look back at it, I'm not sure if I really even lagged out. Like, I think Ray might have just, like, killed me completely, like, normally, man. And to be fair, it makes sense. You know, like, just, like, the current ranked, like, second highest PvPer on the server. Of course he's gonna kick my rear. Anyways, it was unfortunate, to me at least. I thought, I didn't win or something. Actually, no, it's not that unfortunate. It's actually not unfortunate at all. I wanted to learn, and I did learn. I realized that, I needed to learn more about, like, XP bottles and stuff. Like, I need to be more frequent with splashing XP bottles down. That's been, like, a critical flaw I've made twice now, and I need to get the hang of it. Anyways, even though I didn't win, it served as critical experience, and hopefully I will become a much better PvPer from that experience. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe.